University Chidambaram, which is in Tamil Nadu. And today I'm going to explain about climate smart agriculture and its importance. First, the climate smart agriculture. First, I'm illustrating the importance of the climate smart agriculture nowadays. Due to the global warming and many other factors, due to the anthropogenic factors which is caused by humans, climate is not improving day by day, but instead it has its opposite. So it is declining, and um, climate is getting worse and worse, and so that it is important uh, to as a human it is our duty and responsibility to save our environment by reducing the climate change. And this climate change also affects the agriculture, and this climate smart agriculture is one of the technique. This is given by FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, in the year of 2015. And before that, before 2015 itself, this concept was prevailed uh, before in the year of 2009. And climate smart agriculture, I'm going to explain in this slide. And climate smart agriculture is an integrated approach to managing landscapes, adopt agriculture methods, livestock, and crops to the effect of climate change. Because due to the adverse of climate change, it is our important duty to protect our crops. Because due to our increase in geometric progression of our population, the food production also should be increased in a geometric progression manner. And so by combining all the approaches and managing the landscape to adopt the agricultural practices to safeguard the crops and livestock, it is our duty. And climate smart agriculture is a related a new approach to developing the technical, political, and financial condition for achievement of sustainable development goals. And this definition is also given by Food and Agriculture Organization in the year of 2015. And climate smart agriculture is a managing land to adopt agricultural methods, livestock, and the crop of effect of climate change by reducing the greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases emission is reduced, and in the field of agriculture, the methane emission from the paddy field is also one of the contributor to the climate change, and so that it is reduced by adopting some other practices, and while taking into account the growing world population to ensure the food security. Because as per the Sustainable Development Goals, which consist of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, in that the food security, no poverty, and zero hunger. The Sustainable Development Goals 2 is a second development goal, and so that it emphasizes an importance on ensuring the food safety and the security, etc. And the climate smart agriculture is also known as a climate resilient agriculture. And in this climate smart approach, the CSA denotes the climate smart approach. It tries to integrate climate change into planning and implementation of sustainable agriculture practices. And it also aims to increase the resilience of agriculture to climate variability through better adaptation of climate change, and it is agriculture contribution to global warming. And the CSA, as I said before, it was started by the Food and Agriculture Organization, that is shortly termed as FAO, and the first used in the year of 2009. In the year of 2010, the first global conference on agriculture, food security, and climate change at Hague, which is located in Netherlands, was conducted, and the concept of climate smart agriculture was presented. And this is some of the brief history about the climate smart agriculture approaches. And in this, I'm going to explain about detail. What is climate smart agriculture, that you can ask? Its main motto is to provide the to protect the its main motto is to safeguard the national food security and development goals and sustainable increases productivity and income. And it aims to strengthen resilience to climate change and variability, because the climate may change from time to time, so that it can both be positive and negative. So the climate change approach the farming community, if they adopt this climate smart agriculture, means without facing any losses, the crops can be improved, and the production and yield can be improved and increased, etc. And it reduces the agriculture contribution to climate change. As I said before, there is a case study about that methane emission from the wetland paddy cultivation. The paddy means rice cultivations. The methane emissions will be there, and it is also another contributor to the climate change by adopting some of the climate agriculture, like by by reducing the wetland, by adopting many methods, like which is followed in Philippines, like the some of the that how to say that mulching techniques are used in the paddy field also with the help of less amount of water, and some of the thin film is coated in the field, like the patch budding, like like patches and patches, the rice crops can be grown, and it will contribute to less number of nitrogen, etc., less number of nitrogen and methane, etc. And upscaling of climate smart agriculture, the extension and advisory service, that is a shorter term as EAS, can play a very important role in scaling up the climate smart agriculture. EAS contribute to the realization of all three objectives of CSA: food security, adaptation, and mitigation. This three objectives are one of the most important and but are currently focused on the first of this, namely food security through enhanced productivity. Upscaling of climate smart agriculture will certainly entail changing behavior, strategies, and agriculture of millions of agriculture producers who need to become better informed about the impact of climate change so that they may adopt better climate smart strategies. Have traditionally served as a bridge between research and farming, because it serves as a research and reducing the gap between the researchers and the farming community, and through the extension agents or change agents, it also acts as a bridging community, and the transfer of technology occurs from the researchers to the farming community and support farmers through delivery of knowledge about new technologies, etc. The following four cases in climate for agriculture technologies are adopted on a large scale, and you can ask which other countries will are following this climate smart agriculture. There are there are four countries, and they follow different approaches in these four countries. That is conservation agriculture in Zambia, system of rice intensification. That is in Vietnam, system of rice intensification in Tamil Nadu. It is called as a Senel Sahubadi, and drought tolerant maize in Africa, that is DTMA, and index based weather insurance, the case of agriculture and climate risk enterprise. The conservation of agriculture in Zambia include because the cultivation of traditional varieties and other crops also will favor for more production and productivity. And the system of rice intensification means reducing the spacing. The spacing will be entirely different from the normal traditional methods of rice cultivation, and in that it by following this technique, the pest and disease management will be easier, and for the rice intensification, special tools are used, and the rice system of rice intensification is one of the successful technique which is followed in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, and West Bengal also. West Bengal, it is also followed in some of the areas, and West Bengal also it is followed, and drought tolerant maize in Africa. The maize is an important crop which comes under the cereal category, and the drought tolerant varieties of maize are cultivated, and so that it byproducts are also obtained. And index based weather insurance, the case of agriculture and climate risk enterprises, East Africa. The case of agriculture and climate risk enterprises means um, how to say, the climate risk enterprises means it also help the farming community to grow more crops, and to safeguard from the climatic risk. And you can ask what are the difference between the conventional agriculture practices and the climate smart agriculture practices. The conventional agriculture practices include the conservation of energy sources from human to animal and fossil fuel dependent machinery, and use of energy efficient technologies for agriculture, irrigation, or tillage methods, and increases use of synthetic chemical fertilizer, pesticide, and herbicides, and GMO, genetically modified organisms, are generally inefficiently applied. And increased inefficiency of fertilizer and wider use of the organic fertilizers are morely followed in the climate smart agriculture. By adding in a judicious amount, correct proportion of growth will be there in the crop also, and the incidence of disease and pest will be minimized. And expansion of agricultural land area through deforestation and conservation from grasslands to croplands, that is followed in the conventional agriculture technique, and intensification on existing land areas as main source of production increases rather than expansion to the new areas. And in conventional agriculture, increased specialization in agriculture production and marketing system, the greater diversification in production input and output marketing system, emphasizing improved and hybrid crop varieties, valuing the resilience and traditional varieties are used in the climate smart agriculture. It includes conventional agriculture practice include large scale farms, and in climate smart agriculture techniques, the small scale farms are used, but its profit is almost or equal to the large scale farms, because by following some of the some of the models like crop grow model that will be I will show in next further slides, and the small scale farms also will help the farmers to get many profits. And the objectives of conventional farming is to maximize the potential yield of crops. And the climate smart agriculture includes multiple objectives such as food security, poverty reduction, and eco-friendly process, etc. And the conventional agriculture practices include traditional farming or industrial agriculture. And the climate smart agriculture is also known as climate resilient agriculture. And what are the, you can ask, what are the pillars of CSA? The CSA means the climate smart agriculture was proposed an integrated approach to mitigate ongoing climate change. Because the climate change, as per the Paris Climate Change Agreement, the reduce of 1.5 degrees Celsius or increase in the 1.5 degrees Celsius can be harmful to our environment and to the world also. But nowadays, as the researchers are saying that now the temperature or the Earth's temperature has been increased almost to 2 degrees Celsius. And the Food and Agriculture Organization defines climate smart agriculture consists of three pillars. That is, that emphasize importance on food security, adaptation, and mitigation. The food security means sustainable production, sustainable increase in agriculture productivity. Because agriculture productivity should be in a continuous and a sustainable manner. If it is interrupted, means the food production will be affected, and ultimately the farming community will be affected, and finally the people will be affected by starving for the food. And adapting and building resilience to the climate change, and mitigation, reducing or removing greenhouse gas emission wherever possible. By using the e-vehicles in the field of agriculture can also be emphasized. And in India, many schemes have been given by the union government or central government, like introduction of faster adaptation and manufacturing of electric vehicle. And this is as an industry 4.0. This is in FAME 3.0, and 4.0 is also coming. And now all the people are using electric vehicles, and this scheme can be modified. And many of the electric vehicles or electric tractors can be introduced in the field of agriculture, so that the use of fuels and other materials and other instruments in the field of agriculture can be minimized, and the pollution will be reduced, will be reduced, etc. And the three pillars of climate change, as I said, the climate smart agriculture has potential to contribute to the achievement of 17 sustainable goals, a critical precondition of realizing the scope to identify potential synergies and trade-offs between the three pillars and 5 implementation steps. Sustainable increase in agriculture, as I said before, these are the one of the diagrammatic representation I'm showing. And as I said before, the 17 sustainable goals, in that I said zero hunger. This is second sustainable goal. And affordable clean energy and climate action. Affordable clean energy is the seventh sustainable goal, and 13th climate action is also a 13th sustainable goal. And life on land. This three will be connected to the life on land, because the life and land includes, because the food is our major fuel for the energy of life, fuel for the life. And so that life on land includes the production and productivity and etc. And the climate smart agriculture, the food security in sustainable production and the pathway of production of food security and nutrition, pillars adaptation like short-term adaptation or coping, and long-term adaptation, adaptability of the adaptation options. This pillar means it includes in that time span like short-term and long-term adaptation, and mitigation includes the short-term emission estimates or emission intensities and emission trends, etc. And you can ask, what are the challenges for climate smart agriculture? Among the various challenges of climate smart agriculture in Vietnam, this is one of the case study I have taken, and the three main ones have been described. Climate smart agriculture has different interpretation. Awareness of the climate change is limited among farmers and leaders. This is increase the risk of maladaptation, particularly in the climate smart adaptation agriculture priority is yield increase. And gender, without reducing the women's work, it will be difficult to release time for women to join in training courses. Because why I am emphasizing on gender means, because most of the agriculture population, the 51 percentage also includes gender, because we called it as a B type labor. So participation of women in this agriculture practice is also one of the important factor. So that I have emphasized the importance on the gender role played by both male and female. And what are the you can ask what are the importance of climate smart agriculture? And our ultimate aim is to increasing productivity and incomes and enhancing resilience of livelihoods and ecosystem, reducing and removing greenhouse emission from the atmosphere, etc. And managing of climate risk. The climate risk management is an approach which specifically at a climate risk is a part of comprehensive risk management strategy, planning for screening or assessment, conducting screening or assessment, incorporate results, and implementing and adaptively manage. This includes like a cycle of climate and risk management. And this is also this is also a data which I have taken from the research article. And finally, I will show the research article also. And climate smart agriculture, an integrated approach of patterning agriculture productivity. You can see in this the serial yield of different geographical regions world for the year of 2017, and the scale includes the yield of the regions as per the World Bank database. And I said before the crop grow model. The crop grow soybean model-based studies predicted rise of 50% in agriculture commodity price in central India because of doubling of the concentration of carbon dioxide. However, escalation of 3 degrees Celsius in mean ambient temperature may nullify this beneficial effect increase of carbon dioxide, because sometimes the carbon dioxide is also both harmful or beneficial to the plant. And assessment of the scenarios of future carbon climate smart that carbon emission has shown the production of mustard is likely to decline the irrigated as well as rainfed areas, but this shortfall in production has spatial variability in distinct mustard producing region. It is evident that CC and CB are influencing proximately at cultivated crops. The cultivated crops and cultivated variables which provides carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and mineral to us. And in further, the calorie consumption is also I have taken uh, this this is in 5 and the access by this DOE number which is published in the journal. And India calories of protein consumption of projection includes kilocalories per day per person. And sometimes we can make this we can make some of the harmful gases in for production and the crop production management for climate smart agriculture practices includes conservation agriculture, crop diversification. The crop diversification means avoiding the monocropping or monoculture practices, and instead of that, in a piece of land, many of the crops should be planted. Like cereals can be grown with the pulses as a companion crop, and many pastoral and silvicultural crops can be also grown. And integrated pest management practices can be taken, and integrated farming system. Integrated pest management includes application of the chemical pesticides along with the botanicals and along with the traditional or ITK, indigenous technical knowledges approaches also can be integrated with this integrated pest management and integrated farming system and agroforestry, organic agriculture, changing cropping patterns. Organic agriculture can be also the climate smart agriculture also giving importance to the organic agriculture, because through some of the practices are very beneficial in controlling some of the microorganisms or pathogens or pests, etc. And changing cropping pattern, because the change is the thing which never change. So changing cropping pattern is also can increases the production and productivity. And protected cultivation, efficient water and irrigation management, and cover cropping techniques can be used, and improved varieties and seeds. And precision agriculture. The precision agriculture means in the field of precision agriculture, the by using or monitoring the field, the judicious amount of pesticide when the insects emerges, or by using the pathogen by if the pathogen emerges means the proper amount of fungicides can also be used, and by mulching techniques also can be used. Mulching means by reducing the water vapor evaporation and transpiration losses, mulching can also be used. And integrated weed management. The integrated weed management is also similar to the integrated pest management. In this also, the traditional knowledges and other techniques are also used, and integrated nutrient management is also used, and crop rotation models also followed in this climate smart agriculture practices. And the water management option for climate change adaptation includes by making by constructing a farm pond and use of sprinkler, drip, and center pivot system and IoT. That is, Internet of Things based irrigation system can be it will be very much useful in adopting this climate change adaptation practices, etc. And energy management option for climate resilient agriculture. Energy management option: windmills, photovoltaic lights, hydrothermal conversion tools, solar operated irrigation pumps, solar panels, and biogas extraction units. Because by constructing these units, the farmers can be benefited. If the farmer is producing biogas, means he can reduce the cost of the gas, because our union government has introduced many schemes like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, that is cylinder giving the cylinder giving a scheme that like many introduced by the central government. But because by adopting these technologies, the gas production by themselves is enabled, and so that they are independent of themselves. And windmills means if the farmer is a big farmer, if a big farmer he's having many more than 10 to 30 or 40 acres of land, means he can construct a windmill. And if he construct a windmill, and if he or she is giving it to lease. A lease means also lease, or if he's selling the land along with that, means it will be very much useful. And the crop can be also grown, and the windmills can be also established here and there, and so that without affecting the crop also can be done. And photovoltaic lights, the photovoltaic lights it also have some of the properties like attraction of the insects, etc. And hydrothermal conversion tools and solar operated irrigation pumps are also used, because it reduces the electricity, and so that it is also one of the factor for contributing to uh, for decreasing the temperature, which will contribute to the climate change. And solar panels, etc. And minimum input data for crop simulation models. The simulation technique is also is emerging technique in the field of information technology, IT, and other gaming sectors. And in this, the crop simulation models include the weather, soil, crop variety, experimental site information, crop management, and pest. By adopting, how to say, by considering these factors, and the result will be a simulation model, how it will affect the yield of the crop, and the protection of crops will be well known, so that as per the judgment made by the a simulation model, the proper measures can be taken. And application of crop models for CSA. Application crop models for CSA includes water budgeting and nutrient dynamics, assessment of weather risk, because we call it as a monsoon, or other factors are gambling, because we will not know when the rain will come, and how the crop will be affected. We will not know about that. And so it is called gambling of monsoon, etc. And so that assessment of the weather risk is also one of the important factor. And selection of best management practices and advice to policymaker for decision making, because government and other stakeholders come with the combination of researchers also play a major role in application of this crop model of climate smart agriculture, and making the people to adopt this new technology, etc. And yield forecasting and gene phenotype modeling, and this comes under the field of biotechnology and genetics and plant breeding, etc. And the simulation of activities involving the greenhouse gas emission includes carbon cycle models, atmospheric greenhouse concentration, and global climate models, changing global climate parameters like temperature, rainfall, etc. Regional climate models, variability at particular region, crop simulation model, forecasting climate change impact of crops. And there is a in situ and ex situ methods also. Precise irrigation methods like drip and sprinkler, design and operation of transport vehicles, and that is an in situ adopt and maintain motor engines with a higher fuel efficiency and electric motor adjustable speed and effective lightning of temperature control is in ex situ, and site specific application of fertilizer adopt zero and minimum tillage techniques that is followed in situ microclimate control building, because microclimate means the soil microorganisms or other beneficial or even pathogen will climate even pathogen can survey in a microclimate that is within a soil or when the irrigation is applied, that environment is a contribution of the microclimate, and thermal heat controlling greenhouse gases and design and model fishing vessels, lower input requiring cultivars and animal species, lesser input demand of crop varieties and animal breeds, soil erosion control, lower moisture demand and losses, use of organic manures and biofertilizer, and economical manufacture of efficient. And in exit method, minimization of food packaging, improving cooking and space heating efficiencies, and improvement of highway infrastructure, reduce the loss of crop production at all stages, changing food habits and containing animal-based products in the diet, reduce the level of obesity, identification of food products and labeling. These are the techniques which is followed in exit 2. And this is my slide, and now I am going to present that research paper. One second. Before that, I also have done one second. And this is the research paper which I have taken some of the information. And this belongs to the recent of 2000 February 2021. And you can ask whether you have any update about the climate smart agriculture. Yes, I have the updates, and I have also done a research paper in about the climate resilient smart agriculture, and I will also show the PPT also. And this I have done in a national conference. The climate resilient smart agriculture through adaptation and mitigation strategies. In that, I will saying about the climate resilient smart agriculture. There is some slight difference between the climate smart agriculture and climate resilient smart agriculture, and this is a program given by the central government, National Initiative for Climate Resilient Agriculture, launched by Indian Council of Agriculture Research (ICAR) on 2nd February 2021. This is implementing body is NICRA. NICRA is a network of projects of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. ICAR is an autonomous body responsible for coordinating agriculture education and research into India that reports Department of Agriculture Education and Research DAR. That is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. And the objectives of NICRA is to enhance the resilience of Indian agriculture to climate variability and climate change through development and application of improved production and risk management technologies, etc. And to demonstrate the site-specific technology packages the farmer fields for adopting the current climate risk, etc. And strategic research on adaptation and mitigation. These are the details given. And the NICRA, as I said before, the national innovations in the climate resilient agriculture. Um, the flagship net project was launched by the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and this is also is supported by ICA Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture, Hyderabad, which is located in Krida, and there is a Palancheru in Palancheru. How to say ICRISAT. ICRISAT is also there in Hyderabad. That also similar in adopting this climate smart agriculture technologies, and this ICRISAT is also growing many dryland semi-arid tropic crops, etc. And best infrastructure was established across the country at different institutes facilitating the climate change research. And this climate in 2023, the PIB of as per the Press Information Bureau, Climate Resilient Agriculture, a ICARES Education and Research Program of Consortium of Scaling Up of Climate Smart Agriculture in South Asia. The focus program is to sustainably increase production and productivity and also enhance food security, nutrition, and income generation in South Asian Association for Regional Corporation, that is SARC. The program is also focused on together Agriculture Research Center Extension Agency in SARC region to develop the share knowledge of climate smart technologies and best practices. And this is followed by the many cooperation nations of SARC and capacity development countries of which is supported by the ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. This is an authenticated information as per my research and as per my research. That's all. Thank you. Have a good day and a great time. And this session is open for discussion. If you have
Yeah.
any doubts, you can
Okay.
ask.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gowri Shankar, for the detailed
Thank you.
presentation. Now we'll
Thank
take
you.
up some questions.
Okay.
Yeah. What is climate smart agriculture and how does it differ from traditional farming practices?
Because climate smart agriculture is different from traditional approach um
How does it
by
differ from
cost.
traditional
By
farming?
Yes, differs means initially the cost, the setting up of cost of the equipments will be high, but after following the technology, if you compare the benefit cost ratio, that is benefit cost ratio means comparing the income and the expenditure. Expenditure means by adopting this climate smart agriculture, it will be higher when compared to the traditional methods. I will explain about the benefit cost ratio means if I am investing 1 rupee means if I get two or more than 2 rupee means I'm benefited through my business. And the climate smart agriculture, initially the cost of setting up the equipments and other materials will be high, but after that, after 1 or 2 years, the if you compare the benefit cost ratio with the climate smart agriculture and the traditional approaches means compared to the traditional approach, the climate smart agriculture will be high. That is one of the factor. And the technological approaches, including the technology approaches means in this slide I have explained about the adoption of some of the technologies in irrigation. That like irrigation means if you follow drip or sprinkler irrigation means in drip irrigation means the judicial amount of water is applied, so that if you apply this equipments means your labor cost will be minimized, and so that how to say so that your income will be your the amount you are getting in your hand will be retained. uh,
Okay.
Clear? Okay.
Yeah. And can you provide an example of a climate smart practice that can be implemented in crop production?
Climate smart practices I have listed in this slide. One second. The system of rice intensification practice or rice intensification in Tamil I have said that that is called Sennal Sahubadi, that is integrated with precision farming. That precision farming, it is if it is integrated means it is also a climate smart approach. In system of rice intensification I have said that as compared to the wetland farming, the in system of rice intensification the yield of the rice will be maximum, and the emissions of the methane in the wetland will be comparatively or very less minimized in a system of rice intensification technique. So it is the technique. It is one of the technique followed that can decrease the temperature, and finally it can also impact climate change in decreasing effect. And as I said before, it is integrated with precision farming and other technologies like organic agriculture. This is if this some of the technologies are integrated means the cost will be drastically minimized, and so that the yield and production can be improved, and so that the farming community will be benefited.
Okay. And how does climate smart agriculture contribute to increasing agricultural productivity while reducing greenhouse gas emissions?
By reducing greenhouse emission means first by following this adaptation mitigation techniques. The mitigation techniques include the short-term emission estimates and emission intensities. The emission intensity means I said that the government can take measures in introducing the schemes of FAME, that is fast adoption and manufacturing of electronic vehicles. If the government and stakeholders or policymakers are very much interested in introducing the scheme in this field of agriculture means, because our citizens are using the electric vehicles and etc. If the electric vehicles are sometimes if you are used in agriculture field, that field means the fuel cost and other cost will be can be minimized, and it is also one of the factor that will minimize the contribution of greenhouse gases. And this is one of the mitigation techniques, or this is one of the idea which I have gotten, which I have got. And the emission trends include by using the harmful greenhouse gases for production. Some of the plants like leguminaceous plants will take that carbon dioxide for its growth, and so that if we plant that if we plant that category crops or other crops means, the greenhouse gases can be converted into a beneficial nutrient, and so that the crops can be grown, so that it also will not contribute to the climate change or global temperature increase, etc.
Okay. And what role does soil health play in climate smart agriculture?
Soil health. The soil
Yeah.
health soil health means the amount of beneficial microorganism or fertile microorganism if there is in soil means the climate smart agriculture. By before adopting the climate smart agriculture, if the microorganism that is present in soil, which is the major reason for the soil fertility means, after adopting this climate smart agriculture by integrating with the some of the technique like some of the traditional integrated technical knowledges means, the beneficial microorganism will be improved in the soil, and so that if you compare before and after means, your yield and production will be also good. uh, in if I explain detail means, the indigenous technical knowledge means, in climate smart agriculture it is a new term, but it is integrating all the old technologies, so that I am saying that the indigenous technical knowledge is integrated with the climate smart agriculture culture means, before and after there will be improvement in soil health, and the beneficial microorganism present in soil will be in higher amount, because by integrating with this ITK, indigenous technical knowledge, the amount of application of the pesticides or fertilizer will be minimized. That is the first reason. And second, application of farmyard manures and other like how to say, uh, that um, for soil, many of the nutrients, the micronutrients will be also given. Micronutrients, that is, we call it as bone meal along with the cow dung and with the panchakavya, dasakavya, that will be given, and so that the crop and other soil fertility will be maintained, and there will be no decline in the fertility of the soil.
Okay. And yeah, how can
Yes,
smallholder
ma'am.
farmers benefit from adopting climate smart agricultural techniques?
Climate smart, yeah, the small farmers can adopt the technologies which they are possible with their limited incomes. And with their limited incomes means, for example, in if they can adopt cover cropping, and by crop diversification techniques in the small amount of land. If the farmers having 2 acre of lands means, it can be splitted into the four quadrants, or half acre is for a crop, vegetable crop, and half acre is for a fruit crop, and half acre is for a silvicultural or silvicultural crops, and another half acre is for a cereal or pulse crop. If the farmer is growing like this means, the farmers will not face any losses because as per the market, every farmers are as per the market data. If one farmer is cultivating a tomato means other farmer will be influenced and he will be also be grow tomato. And finally, if they price fluctuation occurs mean the tomato price will be go to its peak or reach its zenith or reach to the bottom. And because the farmer is following the monocropping instead of the following monocropping, the small farmer can also follow this crop diversification strategies. The crop diversification strategies, if they followed means they will not face any losses. And he or she can also follow crop rotation techniques. The crop rotation means if the in one season if he's growing a pulse crop means in another season he can grow cereal crops, and in another season he can grow vegetable crops, in another season he or she can grow fruit crops, and in another season he can grow amaranthus. Because if we do monocropping means only our soil fertility will be reduced drastically, and ultimately it will cause reduce in soil fertility and reduce in production. So these are the techniques the small farmers can adopt through climate smart agriculture.
Okay. And in what ways can CSA help in managing water resources more efficiently?
In a judicious amount of water can be allocated to the particular piece of land. Particular piece of land. Um, by in precision agriculture or precision farming, and this drip and other technologies are completely automated, and the amount of water that is required for the crops is calculated and given in a suitable proportion, and so that the uh, judicious amount of water is given means there will be no chance for water scarcity. So water management is also possible. Water management is efficiently possible in the climate smart agriculture.
Okay. And how does climate smart agriculture address the challenges of climate change and extreme weather events?
Um, and climate change and extreme weather events are unpredictable ones, but by adopting the climate smart agriculture, because the climate smart agriculture in extreme weather events, the farmer is well known about the in which season which crops will be very suitable. And if the season fail means if the monsoon or other disaster event occur means he will be preventive. He or she will be preventive means for example, in the monsoon season, like October, November, December, it is called a disaster month. As per as per the meteorological data, it will be a disaster month because a lot of cyclones will be there, and other factors will be there. And in that time, if he grows a if he grows paddy means, if he grows paddy or other crops means it would be a complete loss for him, because there will be a possibility of water stagnation, and it can cause many numerous diseases and pathogens in rice crops. And if he is a well knowledge farmer and he can grow millets or any other pulses means if the because if the comes also, the possibility of the crop losses and damage should be very very less. And the government is also now encouraging the millet farmers, because in this union budget of 2024 to 25, Sri Anna Yojana scheme has been given, so that if the farmer is a well knowledge farmer means he can concentrate on growing the millet crops, and so that he can escape from the tragedy of the disaster, and he can also value at his product, and he can also sell in the market. And in the disaster month his crop will be escaped from the both drought or flood, etc.
Okay. And what are some common barriers to implementing CSA practices and how can they be overcome?
Cost is the one of the major factor, and the government has to take the one measure. That is the only solution, because the policymakers, stakeholders, and the research fellows or research scientists, or if they focus and if they propose a project to the government means, and if it is accepted means, the farming community will be benefited, and it is in the hands of policymakers, stakeholders, and some of the companies can give us something like EMI, or other payment options, or payment options for if the farm is buying this materials or other equipment means, they can give, and so that the adaptation will be there, and these are the considered as the barriers.
Okay. And can you discuss the role of technology in advancing climate smart agriculture?
Technology is advancing means, how
Role
I
of
can't
technology.
understand. Role of
So
technology means,
how the what is the technology what is the role
now
technology will play?
IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things
Mm,
is one of the technologies, and now artificial intelligence system and complete automation through the precision agriculture or the technologies. Ma'am.
okay. Yeah. Okay. And how can policymakers support the transition to climate smart agriculture practices?
The policymakers can, as I said before, they can seek for the project proposal by the research scholars, ma'am, who are in agriculture universities or ICAR and other state SAUs, that is state agriculture universities, and through that, the best policy project proposal can be chosen by, because the project proposal will be taken in the who are quoting the less amount will be taken, and it can be taken by the government, and it ultimately it will be reached to the farmers through the district level. That is that hierarchy is Indian ICAR of Indian Council for Agriculture Research, and State Agriculture University, and district through KVKs, and it will be reached to the farmers. Ultimately, it will reach to the farmers, but there's a if there is a need, it is in the hands of research scholars and the research scientists. Only if they are very interested, means they can make the policymakers to implement this.
And second,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Gowri Shankar, I don't see any more questions. So now
Okay.
we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I'd like to thank you for the detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And I
Thank,
also like to thank my editorial team for sharing the questions. The meeting will now be closed. Have a good and safe weekend.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
good and a
most
great
welcome.
time. Thank
Thank
you.
you.